how much do you expend energies to fight a system that doesn't support you with the hope it will change, or leave?
You know, I have had this conversation again with many people, and in my younger years, I used to say to people, well, let's see if you can see where you get to on. And now I just say leave. And here's why. Here's why I'd say leave. And I'm not saying leave immediately. I'm not saying leave badly. But if you're called, let's say you believe you're called to be a pastor, and you're in an environment which doesn't endorse that for whatever reason. I'm not even questioning the legitimacy of that. I'm just saying you're in an environment, let's say you feel called to speak, and they don't, that's just not part of what they're doing. They've told you where they're at. Why don't you believe them? Question is part one. Secondly, I would ask you to say, is your call to argue with them about it, to persuade somebody, or to do it? If your call is to do it and it's a closed door, acknowledge it's hard. And I think sometimes we have really good conversations with people, but in the end, a yes is a yes, a no is a no, and a maybe is a no. And I think sometimes we get a little American Idol about it. We expect to be picked and chosen, and that somehow validates it. And it's like, people are all doing the best they can and working it out, but you have a responsibility to be faithful with what you've got. And suddenly your call has become persuading people that you should be there. That wasn't the original call. The call was to do the thing, not to tell people you had to do the thing. I want to remind people that I'm not saying don't stay on one level. I know I just said my recommendation is leave. And I understand, and I know the cost of that. But if you can stay in that environment and not get bitter, not get accusing, not get judging those leaders, not try and steer every conversation to your right to do something, then sure, stay. But the thing is, when you are constantly turned down, that has diminishing returns on your soul, on your attitudes, on your well-being. Put yourself in environments which welcome your calling, because you might be wasting time when, the calling is hard enough as it is. There's still the training, there's still the development, there's still the building relationships. And you put all your capital in a place which won't receive you, when you need to be investing that in a place where you can actually get on and do the ongoing part of your calling, not just the getting through the door. And I think when we spend our times trying to break glass ceilings, we forget the concussion we can get along the way.
It's good.